To all the amazing people behind Mbgsp, you leaders out there who attended the recent Leadership Summit, I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you once again for inviting me to be your keynote speaker. It really is an honor and a privilege to be rejoining you guys after quite some time. And I know that you're back in your offices and your cubicles and back with your teams. And you might be wondering, after such a great two-day experience, what am I going to do next? Well, I'm here today just to pitch an idea to you and share with you a little bit of inspiration to get you going as you continue your journey in the next 5 months of the year. Let me kick it off by sharing with you guys a quick story, which I kind of missed during the keynote. How many of you love basketball? If you're like me, you're a basketball fan, let me see a show of hands. All right, thank you very much. Let me tell you guys a quick story about a person that I really admire. This person is someone who is involved in the NBA, and he was recently inducted in the Hall of Fame for being one of the greatest basketball players in his generation. And that person is no less than Chris Bosh. He shares a story during his 10-minute speech about what greatness really means. What does greatness really mean? And so he talks about a time in his career in which he was fortunate to be chosen to be part of the 2008 USA Dream Team basketball team, right? Where he gets to be with some of the greatest players in the NBA. And so he wanted to do a very good impression by showing everybody something called leadership presence. And so at the start of training camp, he made a decision that he's going to sleep very, very early and get up at 5 a.m. so that he can be the first to arrive in the gym and at the same time shoot some hoops and, sweat it out and start to practice because he wanted to make that very good first impression. But as he arrived in the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, he was very stunned. The reason behind that is because as he got there, he discovered that there was one player who arrived ahead of him. And that player is no less than Kobe Bryant. As a matter of fact, Kobe was there. He was sweaty already. And that meant that he actually went through the workout at least an hour before Chris Bosh. When he arrived, he noticed that he was sweaty, but he also had ice packs on his legs, which means to say that he was there ahead of schedule. And so this got Chris Bosh thinking. He says, I just couldn't understand, the psyche or what was going through the mindset of Kobe Bryant. Because 2 weeks prior, Kobe lost the championships to a great Detroit Pistons team. And yet he shows up as if nothing happened, right? Well, he took a couple of months break from the game. And as he entered the basketball court, he was still exhausted and tired, but not Kobe. And so Chris Bosh says that champions are not defined by how many victories and trophies they've hoisted up in the air, but true champions are defined when they have the ability to bounce back during adversity, uncertainty, and ambiguity. And that's what it means to truly be a champion. That's what it means for you and I to go forward. I know that some of us were in the firefighting phase in our leadership. Some of us, we are in the stability phase. Some of us, we are in the fired up phase when it comes to leading others. We come through different seasons in our lives. And whether we like it or not, adversity, uncertainty, and ambiguity will always be knocking on our doors, and it will show up unannounced. And so my encouragement for all of us, as we have been able to address the big elephant in that room, which is attrition, I want to encourage all of us that yes, it can hurt, but we've got to move forward. Yes, it can disturb us and bother us, and it can also discourage us. But we've got to believe in the mission behind this company, and we've got to forge forward ahead in spite of adversity. How do we do that? Coming from a 2-day conference, what are some of the next steps that I'd like to encourage you to take? Well, number one, I'd like you to evaluate your current scenario and ask yourself, what is the best leadership style when my team is going through this season right now? Obviously, if you have a team of people who are burned out, who are drained, exhausted, and just on the verge of giving up, you want to be the kind of leader who's empathetic, who's understanding, who's affiliated, somebody who can come around them and understand them, support them as they need to be supported, and also to cheerlead and encourage them. Sometimes we should be a CPS, a chief problem solver, but sometimes as leaders, we also have to be a CEO, a chief encouraging officer. Number two, I'd like you to identify what are the 3 action steps that you're going to take. Don't think of 5, don't think of 10, because it can be complicated. My recommendation for you is think about 3 things that are actionable, 3 things that you can do immediately based on the valuable takeaways that you got in those 2 days. And finally, make sure that you execute. Because my friend, execution is the intensifier of strategy. There's no point for you and I to continue putting up goals and targets if we're not willing to execute. Great leaders will always execute because great leaders do less talk and more action. Once again, I just wanted to say thank you guys for inviting me to be a part of your leadership experience as a gift because I care about Mbgsp so much. I'm so happy to send you guys the slides for the keynote that I did so that you can continue to extract the notes and apply the learnings that we shared. So once again, thank you, one and all, for your amazing participation in those last 2 days. I sure hope that you guys will become bigger, better, stronger, that you will forge ahead in spite of adversity in 2022. And always remember, friends, be the leader you wished you had and aim to be the leader you've always wanted to be. Thanks, everybody. God bless you.